Spendthrift Farm stallions. First 2-year-olds on the track by Golden Sense, Cross Traffic, It's My Lucky Day, Can the Man, and Shaking It Up, including Golden Sense's stakes winner Pickett, a dominant 9-length winner in the $75,000 DS Shine Young Futurity at Evangeline. Spendthrift, the Breeder's Farm.
Hi everybody and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by Spendthrift Farm. I'm Dan Illman along with Nicole Russo, and as we take a look at the field for Sunday's Spa Baby race, race number 4 at 6 furlongs for 2-year-old fillies, we have a Spendthrift representative. The number 3 Into the South is by Spendthrift Stallion Into Mischief. Into the South, one of 2 horses with prior racing experience. And Nicole, I wouldn't be surprised if a horse emerges from this race to run in the spin-away during the last weekend of the Saratoga meet.
Absolutely. About a week into the meet now, we're starting to get into that timing where this is about the time that people will be rolling out those horses that they're hoping to bring back toward the end of the meet. And as you mentioned, there's a couple in here with prior racing experience. That was kind of a weirdly run race, and I do think we might see those move forward. We always talk about experience counting in these scenarios.
Those 2 horses come out of a common race, and we'll begin down towards the inside with the number 1 Merada, who is the beaten favorite at 8-5 for trainer Steve Asmussen. This horse was a $100,000 yearling, a $130,000 buyback in April. This second dam was a really precocious horse and a classy one at that, a 2-year-old first-time out winner, a dirt route stakes winner. This horse got good experience in her debut. She has a nice family, and Steve Asmussen excels second time out.
Definitely. I always expect him to move forward with a start under, as you mentioned, in her debut, crossed the line third behind Tapping Pearl, who we saw in the Schuylerville on opening day, elevated to second via the disqualification of Into the South, who we'll get to in a minute. And I do expect both of those with prior experience to move forward a little here.
Asmussen won with a second-time starter on Friday's Spa Babies race, and this was before this formulator fact, which is fairly remarkable. Over the past 5 years, with second-time starting 2-year-olds in maiden special weight dirt sprints at Saratoga, he is 9 for 18 with a $4.30 return on investment. You have to expect Murata to run well. Are you concerned about the inside post position?
I am, but I always am with these 2-year-olds because it can be such a mental thing for them, but I'm less concerned once they've got a start under their belts and they kind of have seen what the racing game is about. I'm always more concerned when it's a first-time starter down inside.
I think that's a really excellent point. Let's move on to the number 2, Love My Honey, who's out of an extremely productive dam by Indian Charlie. This dam, AJ's Honey, has already thrown 3 black-type earners, including a couple of stakes winners on the dirt, a $155,000 2-year-old sale in April, and Shackelford has done surprisingly well with his juvenile debut runners. Love My Honey has a lot of things to like. This is a solid pedigree, and Arad Ortiz takes the call for Michael Maker.
Yeah, definitely. And, you talked about Shackelford with his first-time starters. He, of course, developed more into his 3-year-old year and his 4-year-old year, but he had a lot of speed that he could carry those distances, and I think that's what's been showing up with his 2-year-olds. This one, Love My Honey, shows a couple of 5-furlong bullets at Keeneland for Mike Maker before coming up to Saratoga and turning in what looks like maybe a 5-furlong familiarizing move over the track. I like that foundation of those 5-furlong works going the 6-furlong debut.
Let's move on to the number 3, Into the South by Spendthrift Stallion Into Mischief. Classic Phipps pedigree, deep in the pedigree. The 4th dam, the Grade 1 stakes winner Dispute. Into the South is a half-sister to a multiple stakes placed 2-year-old on a synthetic surface. A $35,000 buyback as a yearling, but the dam's a half to a couple of nice horses. Do you think this filly might want more ground? I really think she's the one that's going to benefit from that experience in her debut. She was a little bit green. I wouldn't discount her.
Very much so. As we mentioned earlier, she was disqualified from 2nd down to 8th for interference. She swerved out, was very green, but then finished well, and Into Mischief, the Spendthrift sire, just really on fire with his 2-year-olds last year and this year, as you would expect from a horse who is a Grade 1 winning 2-year-old himself. So Into the South, I do expect to take a step forward.
The number 4 is Style and Grace. This is a daughter of Curlin, and she is a 3/4 sister to the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile winner Furthest Land. And Furthest Land won the Breeders' Cup Dirt over a synthetic surface. He was best on synth. Style and Grace is also a half to a Grade 3 stakes placed turf router named Street Move and another turf stakes placed runner named Frippery. This is a $270,000 yearling. When I look at this pedigree, I think turf and maybe a little bit more distance, but I kind of like these workouts, and Tony Dutrow can send out a first-time starter ready to fire.
Yeah, I get the same initial impression from the pedigree. Curling over a Rahi mare, to me that lends itself to more distance. It's a versatile page, and you see the turf and synthetic class under the female family. It is a turf type pedigree. Style and Grace worked well on a muddy track recently, which sort of lends some more credence to that turfy pedigree. Sometimes there's some crossover on potential on wet tracks there. Style and Grace is one that I'm going to kind of, wait for another spot with her, perhaps.
The 5 is Rotate, a daughter of Kentucky Derby winner Orb, who connects with 8% of his 2-year-old first-time starters and has actually done well with his turf performers to date. Rotate is a half-sister to Helpful, who's won a couple of races on dirt, but only with a 49 Beyer top. Yet this dam was multiple stakes placed on dirt and was a 2-time winner as a 2-year-old. As we say in these Spa Babies segments, these Bilmot babies often need a start or two to find themselves.
Yeah, and I think Rotate's definitely going to be a case of that. I look at her and I think that she wants to go longer and that perhaps she'll benefit from a different surface later on in her career. I think maybe she's just here to get her feet wet. It really is a fascinating pedigree when you look at it. Her dam is bred on the same cross as Champion Blame, arch over a Seeking the Gold mare. This is the family of Champion Juvenile Warpass, Karlovy Vary, who is a Grade 1 winner on synthetic, Jack Milton, a Grade 1 winner on turf. And actually this extended female family produced Orvolution, a stakes winner on turf from Sire Orb's first crop. So Rotate, I think some interesting things could happen with her down the line.
Maybe we can put her on our horses to watch list and she could show up in a turf route at Saratoga maybe next time out, and then perhaps she could pop at a price with that kind of pedigree. The 6 is Always Shopping. This is a Rapoli stable homebred by Awesome Again, and this filly goes out for Todd Pletcher, who wins first time out. Always Shopping is a half to the stakes winning dirt router Mo Shopping, who is a 2-year-old winner. This dam was a stakes winning turf sprinter, but she could step on the dirt. A 101 Beyer speed figure on the dirt and was Grade 1 stakes placed at 2. A big pedigree, but when I think Awesome Again, I think distance.
I do think so as well, but Stop Shopping Maria, had a lot of speed, and she was a heck of a 2-year-old. She was 3rd on debut at Saratoga in an opening weekend maiden, I remember, that turned out to be a key race. It was won by My Miss Aurelia, who was the eventual divisional champion. Stop Shopping Maria won her next outing by almost 10 lengths over Book Review, who went on to be a Grade 1 winner. Then she finished 2nd in the Frisette, again to My Miss Aurelia, and 2nd beaten less than a length by the fantastic Stephanie's Kitten in the Juvenile Fillies turf at the Breeders' Cup. So I do think Stop Shopping Maria, as she's already shown with her first foal, can throw an early winner. And we talk all the time about trainer intent being important. Owner intent maybe just as important. Mike Rapoli likes to win in New York. Todd Pletcher can win with these early horses at Saratoga.
Looks like that July 9th workout went in company with Pletcher's Guacamole, who dipped into the winner's circle in an off-the-turf race yesterday at Saratoga. Moving back to Bilmot's Rotate, the reason why I mentioned that maybe we should watch out for her second time out is this formulator fact, which is not good for Bill in his dirt sprint 2-year-old first-time starters in maiden special weights at Saratoga, 0 for 37. Let's complete the field with the number 7 Introspection. Boy, this is a very precocious pedigree. She is a full sister to Psychoanalyze, a 2-year-old debut winner who is Grade 3 stakes placed as a juvenile, sprinting on the dirt. Overanalyze has gotten off to a very nice start with his 2-year-olds, winning 18% first time out. The dam was a debut winner in stakes place sprinting at 2. The second dam was a debut winner at 2. So there's a lot of precocity here for this pedigree, and an outside post, maybe she avoids a little bit of traffic.
Yeah, definitely. And Psychoanalyze, who you mentioned, the foal to this one, was one of the 2-year-olds performing in stakes, along with the likes of Analyze the Odds, P80 Bianchi, who helped Overanalyze lead the freshman sire standings by earnings last year in what I think was a very competitive group of young sires. He's really gotten off to a nice start, and I think you have to watch the young horses by this stallion.
Nice field of 7 in Sunday's Spa Baby race, race number 4. Nicole, who are you selecting on top?
I think it's hard to look past Pletcher and Rapoli with Always Shopping on top. But as I mentioned, I think that race at Churchill that a couple of these are coming out of, I think they're really going to move forward off of it. And of those coming out, I think Murata might offer some nice value.
I might take a little bit of a chance with the 4 Style and Grace. While I am a little bit concerned that this pedigree leans toward distance, I like that July 5th Bullet workout, 5 furlongs and 59 and change. Maybe this filly has a little bit of speed, and I think that work might have come in company with Dutro's older horse, Big Handsome, who's a pretty nice turf sprinter in his own right. Maybe Style and Grace can run a little bit. Watch the board on her, and in multiple race wagers, I'd also use the 2 horses coming out of the Churchill race, the experienced runners, the 1 Murata, and the 3 Into the South by Spendthrift Stallion Into Mischief. Nicole and I will be back next week for more Spa Babies presented by Spendthrift Farm. Best of luck.